Time, the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you guys this morning. And, I just got back from Canton, Ohio. We were hosting an event at the Pro Football Hall of Fame all weekend, which was awesome. I took the earliest flight ever to get back so that I could get this show done because there's just too much stuff to talk about. We're going to hear, this is the entire episode today. One of two things are going to happen before you walk away. One, you're going to be completely updated with the timeline on every single injury that has taken place with the 49ers, when those players will come back, and not all bad news. We did get some good news on the injury front today as well. Then we're going to be hearing from players. We're going to be going over grades. We've got just so much content finally. I'm like a little kid, man. I'm just like, yeah, let's roll. I even wore my Mortal Kombat shirt today to express my happiness and little kid just energy, which I'm so pumped about. Obviously, everybody's on a high coming off that game against the Packers. And yeah, you win 28-21. Cool. That's not really what it's about so much. It's just so many questions continue to be answered, or at least appear to be answered for the long term for the 49ers. And we're going to cover some of those questions. I want to say shout out to all of the Countdown crew. What's up, Yatsik? As much as I hate that logo next to your name, you are a good man. And so I will put it up there. I'm with you, Robert. Can the season start already? I'm going to say, you know what? It's probably better for the 49ers that the season doesn't start now with some of the inexperience that they have at some key positions. However, just because they're inexperienced doesn't mean they're bad or unqualified. Just means you haven't seen it yet. And the small glimpse that we got Friday night against the Packers. Oh, yeah, Mosquito, my guy. Samuel freaking Womack. The dude just went all out. Not one interception, but two interceptions. He had a 92.6 PFF grade, which was by far the most, the highest for anybody, almost 20 points higher than the next defender, which usually preseason grades are really, really low. I'm just going to be honest with you. People are trying to, get in pace of things, trying new positions, whatever else. Your studs don't usually play a whole lot, but Samuel Womack went out there and crushed it. Now, Kyle Shanahan, and I got to say thank you to Juan Salas, the beautiful Juan Salas, for getting us these clips. Right after the game, Kyle Shanahan got several questions on Samuel Womack and just how he played and if he could possibly be a starter at that nickel position earlier rather than later.
It's difficult for a rookie to step into any job. I've been K1 when I was at Cleveland. He was on the rookie tryout team, and he ended up starting that whole year at Cleveland as a rookie. 2016, when I was in Atlanta, we went to the Super Bowl. We had a rookie, I think, 7th-round pick start that whole year. So it's not abnormal, but it's got to be the right guy, and we'll see how that ends up.
Yeah, I do like, we want to overreact. The whole time I'm watching that game, it was interesting the way they used Womack, which is, I thought was just really, really weird because Darquez Dennard would be in there on first, second down, running plays, and then passing downs. They'd sub them in and out. And so it's almost like a sub package for a sub package, right? We're going exponential over here with the 49ers personnel department. And I love that because defensively, the 49ers have been very cookie cutter or stagnant with the way they use their personnel groupings. They don't like to move stuff around really at all. And so, especially on the secondary. Now they do some fun stuff with the defensive line and some dime packages sometimes. But I like that. Now, obviously, I don't think you're going to do that in the regular season. But I like just seeing some difference, some nuance on the way they're using that. And, D'Amico's just, incredible. And, let me say this. I got my hands on the film, baby. I secured the bag. It is ours. And for all of you guys that support our show on Patreon, you guys are the absolute freaking best. And guess what, baby? Every single offensive, defensive play of the entire preseason, every preseason game, every single regular season game, we got them for you. There's only one place you can get it. There's just one place. And that's patreon.com/49ers Rush Podcast. If you've been one of those people that's like, I don't know, I don't have time for it, whatever else, trust me, now is the time, baby. Now is the time. Head over there, just Google 49ers Patreon. You're going to get everything. And on top of that, I got special teams footage this year, baby. I got special teams footage. So you guys that want to, you want to understand running lanes on kickoff team and punt return, the Rangers group, what they're supposed to do, we got you. And that's going to be over on Patreon. Those start in the morning. So I've already got my alarm set for 4:30 in the morning. I'm expecting a full day of just breaking down content for you guys, and I could not be happier. What's up, Brian Carter, the man, the myth, the legend? Love this dude. So if you guys have not done it yet, trust me, you want to see, and again, I think Pro Football Focus grades are good, but even in the broadcast, film that we watch the games with, you can't watch Samuel Womack every play. Second and a half after the snap, he's out of the picture. Well, we're going to fix that for you because we're going to have a Samuel Womack tracker on for this week 1 preseason game as we go back through it. And you're going to know exactly how he did it. Now, and I'll say this is all 22 on NFL Plus. They said that it's going to be. They said it was going to be last year. Never was. It's not looking great, man. So I signed up for NFL Plus. It's not there. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith. I don't know why the NFL doesn't put more quality into their product on that. When it was Game Pass, it was good 3 years ago. Then it got worse 2 years ago. Last year was abysmal. Who knows? This is new. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I'm not holding my breath. So currently, no, it is not there. But I want to go back to Shanahan and Womack before we move on and talk about some of these injuries. Here's Shanahan going into further detail on how he thought Samuel Womack played.
I'd like to watch the tape. I know when you get 2 picks, that's a big deal. So it was a good job covering the guy and making both of those plays. I know the one on 3rd down with the review, and I forget when the other one was, but I wish we could have capitalized on offense after it. But you come up with those picks, that's a hell of a start. And we'll see what he did on all the other 40 plays.
Yeah, that's the key because, we're a highlight society. That's not our fault. That's just kind of the way things continue to shift. Sports Center, top 10, all those things. And those are important. The flashy splash plays are important. Consistency, not flash plays, is how rookies gain starting snaps for the 49ers. That's how you do it. You got to be consistent. So yeah, the 2 interceptions, that's 2 plays. Well, guess what? You got 40 more. How did he do on those? He actually did really well. He did really well. I'm very, very excited about Womack. And if you go back to right after the draft, one of the questions that was asked, and I kind of stayed on, who's going to be the player that starts first? And I kept saying Samuel freaking Womack. I don't know, man. It just seemed like he had the clearest path. He was one of the few players that wasn't going to be changing positions or scheme or anything. He was just going to stay right where he was. And real quick, before I know I keep saying we're going to jump on, I got all these clips from Juan. He cuts them up, and we got Samuel Womack talking to the press. He was asked if he thought he stepped up tonight. Real quick clip. This is Samuel Womack himself.
Most definitely. I feel like I had a great game tonight. I still have stuff that I have to learn from and get better at, but I feel like I was taking advantage of my opportunities.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was. Man, I freaking loved it. Just playmaker. Could he be the next? I mean, you don't want to go too early. Could he be the next stud 5th round gem that the 49ers have found? Since Lynch and Kyle Shanahan showed up, started with George Kittle. Then you got Drake Greenlaw. Is this the next one? Talanoa? He was in there. Man, I freaking love those 5th round picks. Now, let's talk injuries because when you play football, people get hurt. That's just all there is to it. Now, some of these injuries that happened, not a big deal. Some of them, big deal. Mike McGlinchey, right tackle, re-aggravated a knee injury. Now, which is weird to phrase it that way, and let me try to help it make sense. He hurt his quad, right? And so, literally tore his quad, had to go in and reattach his quad muscle to his kneecap, right? So that's what flexes the leg. Well, that connection perhaps not where it should be. And so re-aggravated an issue on that same quad where it connects to the knee, the tissue that connects. So this is a scary one. It doesn't seem to be a long-term issue, but that's going to set him back a week or two. Now, I thought he was coming back early, but that was good news. And, at least you got this week 1 of the preseason instead of week 3 of the preseason. Now he's got a little bit of time to rest, relax, heal, get back to it. But the problem is not so much with McGlinchey, it's behind McGlinchey. One of the things that the 49ers do so well is that they have depth almost everywhere, not at the tackle spots. They do not. Justin School went out there and just laid a giant goose egg. In fact, Justin School had a 53.4 PFF grade, which was 3rd worst, and he just got beat fast several times over. So School sucked. Today in practice this morning, Sunday morning, they moved McKivitz, who's been at left tackle, to a starting team right tackle. Because whenever Trent Williams doesn't practice, he gets starting left team snaps or left tackle snaps. Now he's getting starting right tackle snaps. School, I don't know. I don't think, this is a whole nother conversation. Cut down days start Tuesday. I hate it. 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 And so I don't like that. And, I like this. I like Jimmy Ward making the top 100, number 96. I love it. Getting some respect. He deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves it. School was atrocious. Yeah, I'm with you, Mosquito. But Jalen Moore, yeah, he's a tweener. They want him at guard, but they don't have good tackles. No matter how many tackles they draft, right? They just struggle. They want to kick everybody inside. And, School's the last, pure tackle they drafted. Moore's a tweener. McKivitz is a tweener. And it seems like, the pecking order right now is McKivitz, Jalen Moore, and then, you can jump down. And, the player they brought in last week, he actually played pretty good. So that's another one that you can keep an eye out. But School, he's got to change something, or I don't think he's going to be involved in these first 5 rounds of cuts. I expect to see a wide receiver let go. I expect to see some, back end. I don't think any running backs are going to get cut for sure. But, yeah, some back end linemen, back end D linemen, some undrafted guys, I could see them kind of being let go, maybe even a linebacker. So, I don't know, man. It's rough. So anyway, Tuesday, we're missing 5 players. They're going to get released. And then the following Tuesday, 5 more. And then August 30th, 27 players let go. Mosquito Killer, can you see a scenario where we trade or acquire a tackle? It depends on that McGlinchey injury. But so many times once they get into this place, Shanahan always says, we think the answer's in the building. We like what we have here. We have some young players that could step up, blah, 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 blah. I wish... this will take me to my next one. I wish Daniel Brunskill was over there. But he's hurt now too. Daniel Brunskill out for a few weeks, quote, a few weeks, end quote, with his hamstring. That's awful. He was fighting for that starting center spot. That fight's done. D-U-N, over. D-U-N. You heard me. I know I spelled it wrong. That's just how it sounds in my head. I'm from Texas. All right. But Daniel Brunskill being out, that means Jake Brindle, he locked it up. He's starting week 1, period. 1, he outplayed him. 2, it's over. It's just what it is. Brunskill got out there 1 play, hurt his hamstring, which is a bad look. And it's not good that he's doing that. Now, the good news is if Daniel Brunskill is your 6, that's pretty damn good, because that means your interior 3 playing really, really well. So Jake Brindle now is your center with the 1s basically locked down. That's going to put Keaton Sutherland, your number 2, and then you got Donovan West, the undrafted free agent out of Arizona State, going to be your number 3. Yeah. Brunskill can't come back fast enough. You got to build that depth. You got to build that depth. And so, it's rough. Now, let's focus on some positive there, right? Good news. You freaking Spencer Burford? Holy freaking cow. Are you kidding me? And then we got to talk left guard. Listen to this. This is one of the things that I thought was great. Banks, what he was able to do, he played incredible. Had a 73.5 grade. I mean, he was just off the charts. Guard spots, both teams. Jason Poe was great with the second team. Nick Zakill was great with the second team. Guard, which was our biggest question mark. Oh, what are we going to do with these guard spots? looking like it might be a strength of the team. You not only have 4 quality guards, that's not mentioning Colton McKivitz. That's not mentioning Jalen Moore, which is where they should be playing. But you've got 6 quality guards. And Shanahan talked about Burford and Banks and how well they played.
I know when he makes a mistake, that's usually the case on the O-line. You only notice when someone messes up. If not, you're looking downfield. So I know he had a couple mistakes today, like they all did. But it was good to have him out there, get that playing time for 3 quarters. And you can't do that enough with rookies, especially rookie O-linemen. And I think Banks got to play the whole first half too, which was good for him. And excited to see the film on both of them.
And that's probably, on offense, that's going to be my primary focus. When Trey's in there, and again, we're all offense tomorrow. We're breaking it down. Going to have a ridiculous amount of content for you guys, probably too much, but that's a good thing. Consume what you can, support the show where you can, and the rest is just details, right? But we're going to be watching, focusing on Trey Lance whenever he's in there for his 2 series, and then it's going to be primarily focused on interior offensive line play. And I'm just going to be, I'm telling you, man, I want to see how good these guys are, what their numbers are, how consistent they are. We saw the highlights. Spencer Burford did an inner Trent Williams move where he clubbed on the back and then power cleaned the dude over, basically put him on his knees, then put him on his back twice. That is a vet move. Remember, Burford spent the entire offseason with Trent Williams, Silverback down in Houston. So did Poe. Poe looked good. Banks looked good. Banks even got a hardcore pancake block, which that's not really his game. That's more of a, Spencer Burford thing. But lots of positives there on the interior offensive line. And I'm excited about that. Really excited about that. Now, let's get to some positive injury news. Okay. I don't like bad news. Drake Jackson. The Rook, man. He got a stinger. He's fine. Practiced fully today. No issues. It's in the past. No worries there. And he looked good on a couple plays. Now, I will be honest with you. He had some bad plays. Some very inconsistent plays. He had a 49.4 PFF grade, but you saw the flash. And we knew with Drake Jackson, what is it? Simplify the game. Allow him to headhunt. That's what you got to do. He wasn't doing that. He was just out there every single snap. It was football 101. Welcome to the NFL, Rook. And he struggled. He struggled with consistency. Again, I've said this once before. I'm going to keep saying this. Consistency is the way in which rookies find their way to playing time during the season. Consistency is the key in the way in which 49ers rookies will play in the preseason. We are not 2017 49ers where you just need guys out there that are NFL, quality and learn. No. This is a playoff roster that will not allow rookies to play because of the depth until they are ready. So if Drake cannot build consistency, his snaps are going to be small. You're talking 10 to 15 snaps a game until he figures it out. And he's not there yet. And that's okay. That's not an indictment. We know what he is. The raw skills there. Terrible coaching at USC. Played out of position at USC. Played overweight at USC. Not his fault. None of those things his fault. But raw, young, it's there. We just got to be patient with it. Hassan Ridgeway, defensive tackle that got hurt a couple weeks ago. Full practice today. His quad, he's back. So defensive line depth, that's huge. And Eric Armstead is, quote, close, end quote, to coming back. So positives, lots of positives. Got some negatives. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Now, I would be remiss. We have to talk about the quarterback and Danny Gray. It's just too much, man. And, there's a couple things I want to talk about here. First off, the 49ers and how they built this team. Trey Lance was asked, man, can you talk about how fast not only Danny Gray is, but just the wide receivers and the offense in general is?
Christian Watson, he was on the sideline, actually today. But no disrespect, we got a lot of fast guys this year. We got Marcus Johnson, Malik, BA, and Ray also. Jawan gonna get mad at me if I don't say Jawan and Debo also. So we got fast guys this year. So it's a lot of fun to play with those guys, and obviously it's fun to see what they do with the ball.
Yeah, and Christian Watson didn't play. You remember this is his former teammate that everybody was in love with. He got drafted the second round. He just got activated off the PUP today, so he's back practicing, which is great for the Packers. He was a fun watch, so wish him nothing but the best. But let's talk about that Danny Gray touchdown pass, 70-plus yarder. Whoo! thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, throw it to the fast guy. Danny did a great job. He's done a great job all camp. Just him being healthy, obviously, he's a difference maker for us on offense. His speed is something that, man, I've had maybe one other time in my life. So for me, it's a fun guy to have. It's a fun guy for the receiver room to have also. It just helped the route tree out, make defenses defend the ball, the whole field.
Dude, it's a different element we haven't seen. We talked about this on the reaction show afterwards. When was the last time we saw 49ers quarterbacks throwing it deep? It's been a minute. And, it's funny because I've been a part of different teams on offense and defense as a coaching staff that whenever you see press man with no safety help, it's an automatic hot read. Automatic. Like, I was with one team where we literally, what would happen is the wide receiver would ball his fist and put it behind his back. And the quarterback, whenever he looked over, he would do a double take. This was the signal. So if he looked over, he's stepping up to the line of scrimmage, and let's say the wide receiver on this side has no safety help and press man, wide receiver would have the balled fist just behind his back instead of having it open. That was our signal. And the quarterback would look over, and he'd have to do a double take. So if he did that twice and you had the ball fist, it was just a quick signal, hey, we're going deep. Because we were an aggressive team with a lot of speed, and it worked for us. That's something that's been completely taken out of the 49ers playbook the past 5 years. You'd be seeing it on tape where teams crowd the middle of the field between the numbers for Jimmy Garoppolo. And this isn't an indictment on Jimmy. It's just different. And I think that that's important because it changes the way everything works. It changes everything. You can't crowd boxes anymore. Running lanes open up. Easier on your offensive linemen. They got to step back. And Danny Gray, I'm very happy for him because he had a rough camp. And again, highlights do not make rookies play for the 49ers. Consistency. And he's got confidence. He's just got to get more consistent. Here's Danny Gray talking about how confident he is.
I had a feeling that Trey was going to throw it down the field to me, so it was really just beating my defender. That's what it was. When I saw the safety roll down on top of me, oh, yeah, I knew what it was.
Pre-snap, you could see the coverage, and you had a good idea it was coming to you.
Sure.
And when you get that kind of coverage, is there a guy who can cover you?
No, sir. Not at all. With my speed and what I know what I can do with my confidence, I feel like nobody could touch me.
Yeah, nobody can touch him. Now, I saw this, Joe Dirte, I believe it's French. Marquise Goodwin was faster. You're correct. Marquise Goodwin might still be the fastest player in the NFL. That is an Olympian, literally an Olympian. But that doesn't mean Danny Gray isn't fast. 4.33 speed, it showed. And it matters. It matters. We didn't have that. There's no doubt who the fastest player on this team is now. There's no doubt. It's Danny Gray, and it just shows. And so, yeah, is he the fastest player in the NFL? Is he Raheem Mostert fast? Probably not, but it's different. He is a strider. He is a speed guy. That's just what it is. And I think that's awesome. And again, going back to the idea, what happens whenever you have all of this speed, everybody's got to back up. And that changes things. Now, probably my favorite. It's not. It's my second. But this play happened first. And when Trey Lance slid, holy freaking cow, I started clapping. I stood up and clapping. Everybody in the bar started looking at me weird. But I didn't care. I don't care. I was in the zone, baby. But Trey Lance sliding. And it turns out he's never done it. What?
I'm excited to watch it. I got down. That was my first time sliding in my whole entire life. So that was good. I'm sure guys were happy. I would like to probably move the chains, maybe one more step. But I'm excited to go back and watch the tape tonight and tomorrow and go through it, with our coaches and our offense. But man, learned a lot. Some good reps out there, and super proud of just the young guys, especially.
Dude, just Trey Lance starting to think about preserving his health for the future. That is what the 49ers need. Because if he gets hurt, that's a whole nother story. Now, Nate Sudfeld, our backup quarterbacks, look pretty dang good. All of them threw a touchdown pass, which was awesome. All three quarterbacks finished over 100 passer rating. Brock Purdy had a 108. Trey Lance, a perfect pass rating, 158.3. Doesn't get higher than that. That's as high as it goes. Nate Sudfeld, 132. Like, it just looked good. And I think a testament to not playing against the 49ers defense. Now, the Packers defense is a top 10 defense as well, maybe even top 5, but they didn't have their studs out there either, just like the 49ers defense did not either. So, but you've got to say, offensively, you got to be happy. From a quarterback standpoint, you got to be happy. From a running back standpoint, yeah, I think you're pretty happy. I'm excited to watch the behind the camera view of the running backs before I like. It's hard. You can't see the holes on broadcast view. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's terrible view. It's a terrible way to watch football. It's not the way to do it. What's up, David? I appreciate this. If all we got on Patreon was offense and defense and film reviews, that would be enough. Man, that's how we started. And David, I think you were one of the ones that like gave us the idea. Almost everything we do here is because people are like, hey, could you do this? And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. I'm not an idea guy. I'm a content guy, and I do like to work hard, and I do like to meet people. But we do have more than this. We also have bonus Football 101 film breakdowns teaching you the concepts of the 49ers, running schemes, passing schemes, defensive schemes, all those things. We also have Zoom Hangouts. We've got an extra bonus show every single week on Patreon with the 49ers Cutback Crew. Not one coach, not two coaches, 3 coaches. A bonus show just for Patreon members that's live. That's going to be there. You can go catch those past ones now if you're a Patreon member. They're all available. As soon as you sign up, you get everything. I think we have like 300 videos. Anyway, yeah, TDP. We'll see. I'm holding my judgment out until after tomorrow. I want to watch what he sees, because running back is one of those weird positions where it's instinctual and vision is so much. People don't understand vision. You got to see the hole as it opens and you got to hit it. You got to be decisive. That's where Trey Sermon has struggled. I'm curious to see how he did this week. And, you look at the stats, you say, all right, Trey Sermon 6 for 11 yards. That's awful. 1.8 yards. Yeah, it's bad, but I don't know. We gotta wait. I want to see it. I want to see what TDP saw. I want to see what Jordan Mason saw. All those different things. Oh, what's up? Runaway Turtle. Appreciate you, man. Haven't seen you in the chat too much, but I want to say thank you. This is awesome. He said in today's practice video, we saw an option handoff to Trey with a pitch option to Debo. I ain't mad about that. Ain't mad about that at all. And yeah, the lanes are going to get better. Remember, we didn't have Trent Williams out there. We didn't have Kittle out there. We didn't have Juwan Jennings played a little bit, but like we didn't have Juice. It's different. You are handcuffed, but it didn't stop the offense. When Trey Lance was out there, drove down the field goal, freaking one play touchdown drive. Good gosh. So yeah, things look good. So a couple things. One, injuries, not the best, but positive injury news. We're getting a lot of guys back. And this week's going to be different. This week's preseason game, going to be a lot more low-key. I don't think we see Trey, because remember, the 49ers have 2 inter-squad scrimmages with the Vikings. And unfortunately, we'll get a couple clips there, but we're not going to get to see that. Kyle Shanahan cares more about that than he does all these preseason games combined. So this week's going to be a little low-key. Tuesday, 5 players will be released, which sucks. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But where the 49ers are currently, a lot of questions answered. And rookies showing out. But remember, this is my phrase that I hope you take away. Consistency is the way in which rookie 49ers will find playing time. You've seen highlights from Samuel Womack, Spencer Burford, Danny Gray, and TDP. Can they get consistent to where they can be dependent on not making mistakes? That's the way. All right, guys. Hopefully you're with us on Patreon, because, man, those film breakdowns start tomorrow. We'll have another live show tomorrow. I might tease a couple clips, but I just want to say thank you, guys. Man, I'm so excited. So excited for this season. As always, stay strong, faithful.